Begin to come back from your rest. Perhaps wiggle your extremities from your toes to your fingers all the way into the center. Your eyes are closed. Perhaps slowly blink your eyes open. Begin to sharpen your gaze and come back to this space. Thank you for resting together. This is a practice brought to us by the NAP Ministry, a theological and resistance group led by Trissa Hersey, who reminds us that rest is resistance to a world that wants to fray us and keep us busy so we can't think of the things we want to do together, the world that we would build together if we only had more time. Thank you so much, choir. You have worked so hard on that one. I have heard you through multiple practices, and what a blessing of peace you have offered us this morning. Thank you. I invite Suyamane Carpenter, president of our congregation, and Teresa Morligan, chair of our membership committee, forward. And would those seeking to join the membership of this congregation please come forward now? Today, we welcome into our community Bonita Bethards, Jeff Fox, and Gabriel Tioganco, who have chosen to commit to this congregation after they sign our membership book. When Gabe, Jeff, and Bonita, we are so glad that you are here. We are so glad that you have chosen to make this commitment to our shared community. We ask, will you accept our gifts of fellowship, discovery, and service? Will you offer us your unique presence and gifts? Will you add your name to the long history of Unitarian Universalists who spread hope with our living faith? Will you engage with us as we seek to create a community and a world dedicated to compassion, justice, and joy? If so, please say, I will.
I will. I'm going to read this. Beloved congregation, will you welcome these new members with the warmth and comfort of your fellowship and friendship? Will you seek to add your strengths and talents to the new gifts they bring us? Will you share our triumphs and struggles as our community grows and changes? We will.
Let us promise to hold one another in community, bound by a common purpose and shared love amidst a wonderful diversity of belief and opinions.
Together, we covenant to remain true to the spirit of love that flows through this church and guides us. We promise to work together even when it was challenging. We promise to boldly grow compassion, justice, and joy in our congregation and in the world around us. Will you go and sign the book now? Just your print and signature names. We'll collect your addresses later. And before we celebrate, Bonita has something else to add.
I was looking in the membership book and I saw my parents' names from August of 1975. And I was so happy. My father's 95 now. My mother passed away in 2016, but I told my father, he still remembers me. He's 95 years old. And he said, yes, I did used to go there, Bonita.
Let us rejoice and be glad as we return to our seats. Well, it's our custom here at the First Unitarian Church of Honolulu to share our monthly offering with a group whose mission is in concert with our own. Since November, we have been funding our own church emergency fund, which is a confidential and direct giving account that we use to assist those facing urgent financial need here in our church community and in the wider community. There are a whole bunch of ways to give. There will be a calabash that you can place some cash or a check in just a moment. In just a second, you're going to see a QR code as well as a number to text to. These are both confidential ways of giving. So you can scan the QR code, or you can text the number, and it allows you to pay towards your pledge, to give to the church emergency fund, or when we have a different organization that we're supporting, it also allows you to give directly to that organization. Please give what you can and share it lovingly. Our offering will now be gratefully received and freely given. Your gifts help support this community as we build the beloved community within these walls and without. Thank you for your generosity.
This is your music minute for December. Some of you may be aware that sometime in the 19th century, many of our fairy tales and legends and lore got quite tame. they took out all the nasty characters. They took out all the gruesome things that were happening in those fairy tales. And this was also called the Victorian era. You might not be aware, however, that prior to this time, Satan was a feature of the Christmas story and the Nativity story. And there are carols with Satan in them. And we're going to sing one to you now. Now, this is a song from the Occitan region of southern France. We are singing in Occitan. And I believe the translation of the words are in your order of service. Oh, they're on the screen. Okay. And basically it is, Satan is astonished. He has been kicked out of the stable. He is throwing a tantrum.
I told you it'd be a fun Sunday. Well, sometimes you find yourself at the bottom of the service and you realize that the service has spoken for itself. But I'm still gonna do a pretty little bow right on this and remind us that the spirit of the solstice, the spirit of light returning to the world, is that we're part of this cycle. When we honor our role in the rhythms of the seasons, we remember that nothing is permanent. No feeling, no condition lasts forever. And that we are responsible to one another to remind us of those things, especially when the days get short and the light gets dark. We are asked to draw together, draw nearer and nearer and nearer. And I know, just as this light is so beautifully angled into the sanctuary, just as we've brought light with our Yule wreath, just as we'll bring more light in the days and weeks to come, we are called in this solstice season. We are called in this winter time of light. We are called in this community to our Unitarian Universalist values, which means we leave no one behind, and everyone can be a light unto others. When we work together, we can be 1,000 points of light out here in the universe. The energy we put out is neither created nor destroyed. It began so long before us and will continue so far after us. That tantrum that you threw at 3 in some cosmic sense is still rippling through the universe. And we know this. We know this about ourselves. We know this about our communities. We can bring more light into this world. We can bring more light into one another's lives. We can do one thing and then do something entirely different later on. No state is permanent. No condition is permanent. There are no words that go out from our mouths that are incapable of repair. We can forgive without forgetting. We can feel our pain without dwelling on it. We can know that we sleep better in the dark, that we are more creative inside our own minds than people will ever know. There's no light inside that brain. We know that we are baked, that we are conditioned, that we are equipped for many, many months inside of our first home, the womb of the person who brought us into this world. And great things happen in the dark. People grow in the dark. The first germination of plants happens in the dark. When we're in the dark, we find new ways forward, and we find them better when we find them together. It's a simple message this holiday season. As a matter of fact, if you've been listening over the course of your life, it's probably the same one. I ain't got a lot of new stuff to say about the fact that the days are getting longer, that hope is coming back to the world, that we're responsible for and to one another. All I can do is remind you of it. All I can do is encourage us to practice it a little bit more. All I can do is hope that this year, the child that's born on any holy night, any day of the year, holds the hope, holds the vision that we can all get better together. And you know we're responsible for those new lives. It's not the fact that the new life is born. It's the fact that they remind us that we have a new way to start over better together. It's not a new message. It's an old message that's been said long before the stories about Jesus. And will be said long after people stop believing in whatever we celebrate now. But I hope in this time, I hope in this season, we get a little bit better. We get a little bit closer. We draw a little bit nearer to the fire that reminds us that the sun bakes us all, that the sun never goes away. It always shines even when we cannot see it. And we can, we must, and we will bring more light into this world. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be. I have a little bit of a silent reflection here. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to reflect, because I kind of want to sing. So seated or standing, please lift your voices in song for a hymn of reflection. Number 7272, Has Summer Come Now Dawning? so it is time to extinguish our chalice, and we will do so with the words of the Reverend Kimberly Quinn Johnson. I will begin, and then we will extinguish our chalice flame together. As we extinguish our chalice, we remember that we are not perfect, but that we are perfectly fitted for this day. We are not without fault, but we can be honest to face our past as we chart a new future. May we be bold and courageous to chart that new future. May we have faith in a future that is not known. We are the ones we have been waiting for. Beloveds, go forth from this place blessed. Blessed to do the work of bringing more light to this world. Blessed to do the work of joining and connecting with those right around you and those across all space and all time. Go forth blessed with the Yuletide spirit that the days are getting longer and in the darkness we are more creative. Go forth from this place blessed. Our worship has ended. Let our service begin. But before that, we got some announcements. We've got some wonderful announcements. We have services pretty much the rest of this week up until Christmas Day. So if you're a person for whom the holiday season sometimes brings up mixed emotions, heavy emotions, sad emotions like grief or anxiety, overstimulation, consider attending our mellower Blue Christmas service tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. We'll have some wonderful meditative singing, and we'll also light some candles as a ritual for grief during this time. Our traditional Christmas Eve service begins at 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, Christmas Eve, with a carol sing, followed by our regular service that has a no-rehearsal Christmas pageant. Come be part of the pageant. There are roles for each and every person. There might even be some stuffed animals and puppets. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. There will also be a cookie exchange right afterwards. The service should last about an hour and a half. I see that Mary has some keys, and those look like my keys. So my keys have been found. Thank you so much, Mary. I was wondering where they were. Sometimes there are a lot of moving parts on a Sunday, and I would literally forget my head if it were not screwed on. I also wanted to acknowledge our violinist, Richard Lee, who helped with the Carol Shalom. We didn't have time to get him in the order of service, but I'm so glad he was here. And Beth, let's figure out another way to get him back sometime. All righty. Well, this is a special reminder about end of the year giving. There are only a few days left of 2024 to count your gifts to the church as charitable giving for 2024. So please consider increasing or accelerating your pledge payments. Doing so allows the church to have more cash to bank and weather whatever comes up in the next couple months. And it allows you to lower your tax burden. So if you have the funds, if you have the wherewithal, please consider increasing or accelerating your pledge. If not, please continue contributing as you already agreed. Anything you can give in this time does help. And with that, as we sing our song of peace, please remember to ask before taking someone else's hand. Seated or standing, let's lift our voices for our song of peace, Dona Nobis Pacem. got the stamps, right? I do. All right, awesome. I'm gonna get the cards and just.